Good morning. Thank you for joining. So today we'll be going ahead from what we have been discussing. And yesterday we covered one of the topics, which was understanding how we can, use email shapes. And also, what is the topic which we covered yesterday, guys? And what was the topic we covered yesterday? Navigation, right? Navigation and portal rules. Very good, perfect. So those were two user interface rules which we understood yesterday. Today we'll be going one step further and working on understanding what is declare index within Pega. So to understand that, what is a declare index rule? Of course, we'll need a clear understanding of a database concept which is called as indexing. What is indexing, guys? If anyone can help me understand, what is indexing? Any idea what is indexing? Yes, any idea what is indexing, guys? Yes, no. Okay. Let us say we all are part of some university. Let us say it's the Vishweshwarya Technological University, and all of us have enrolled in, let us say, all of us are computer science students, hypothetically, and then we are enrolled into the program. How will the university identify us? Is it by our names? Roll numbers. Why should they use roll numbers? They can use our names, right? For example, if your name is Harish, they can use your name and identify. Why don't they use their names? Why do they need roll numbers, guys? Any idea? Why do exactly, right? So it's not easy to handle if you are using names. For example, if I have to, if there are, let us say, I have three Harish in my class, let us say two of them failed. How will I identify who failed? Does it make sense? So if you take any university for a matter of fact, they do have a ID for every user. Could be in your day-to-day life also. Why is Aadhaar card not based on someone's name? It's always based on a specific number, a alphanumeric number, which is unique for that particular user. Why do we need that? Of course, to identify that he is a unique person. Along with that, when they try to look up for records, for example, if you are being identified by your name, they can't search the data in the table. Within the table, for example, if I am trying to store some information, I won't be able to identify who is that this operator or this particular user. If I keep, for example, if the university saves everyone with your name instead of roll number, they won't be able to identify. There might be 20,000 Harish in the university. How will they be able to identify who is this particular student, right? That is why they have this concept of roll numbers. Same thing is true for a database. When you try to save stuff in a database, you will always save it with some row ID. If you saw, when we created the data types, we always chose what will be the ID. Yes or no? Yes or no, guys? Perfect. So this is something which is helping you understand, okay, we need some specific number to identify records is what we understood. If you also see, when we try to store files, for example, physical files, when we keep them together, when you have to pick a specific file, if you have indexed them, for example, alphabetical order, it is easy for you to pick them up. Yes or no? What is index? If you open a textbook, you will see there is an index which tells you, oh, on this page, this topic is there. On this page, this topic is there. How does it help you? To access that information faster, you are using that index. Yes or no? I believe everyone has used textbook, right? I'm sure, like, even though we have not gone to we have bunked classes for everything. Index is something which we understand. When you open any basic textbook, there is an index. Index is same across every implementation. Index is nothing but a easier, a faster way to access a given entity. Same thing is true for databases also. So Pega provides a rule called as declare index. Declare index is also a rule in Pega. For example, today when we try to create work objects, where does it get saved, guys? When we create work objects within Pega, where does it get saved? Work table, right? Let us go to our work table. Or these are the different tables we have, right? Okay. Vehicle. We know this vehicle data type which we created, right? This is a data type which we created for a vehicle. Yes or no? We created this data type, and if you see, there are different properties of which we should have chosen one guy as the row ID. If you see the data model, you will know what will be the ID here. Let us try to access that. Let me go to my database. I believe everyone has created one connection to this, to their own database. Trying to access my database. All we are trying to understand today is what is declare index. Okay, but to do that we need some understanding of what is the index all about. We are trying to do that before we jump into that. Select star from data dot pc underscore alpha underscore alpha auto underscore work. This is my work table which is mapped to my work class or work group. See, I'm able to find that. I'm able to go to that table. In the same way, when you go further here, okay, loss amount. These are the properties which we have created. Perfect. In the same way, if you see there is a column called PZPV stream. What is this column, guys? PZPV stream. We did this when we understood, the out of the box tables. When we worked on understanding tables, we did work on this. Any idea? Any of you remember? Yes, no. What is PZPV stream? Sorry? No, it's not a table, it's a column. Table is this. Column PCPV stream is a column where the entire work object data gets saved. If you revisit our tables class, you will understand that. You will see that what exactly this particular column is all about. We did a detailed understanding with respect to that, understanding what it is. Perfect. So this particular column has the entire work object data in a blob format. Blob is nothing but a binary large object, in the sense all this data, like every entity is being captured here, but you have to save it explicitly or you have to save it as a complete package. A package is being saved for each and every row corresponds to one work object ID. Do we agree? Yes or no? See, Vishwas and Nayak, this was for one of the work objects. Nikhil was for one of the work objects. Shishmita was for one of the work objects. Same way, we created multiple work objects like that. Yes or no? To access this data within Pega, whenever we create, uh, let me just open this for you. Give me a second. Data model. Okay. Okay. Vehicle. We go to the class. Open the class record. Let me get the table where this is mapped. Let's try to see that. Test connection. Map to PR underscore other. I want this to be mapped to something specific. Let us say okay, perfect. So whenever Pega stores data, it stores uh, the work object data in blob, which is binary large object. In the sense, when it stores the data for a given work object, binary large object, yeah. So when it stores the data for a given work object, for example, if I create a work object, all the data gets stored in this particular column, which is called as PCPV stream. However, this column, the data here is not easily accessible. Why? Because it is in a blob. A blob gets created by lot of processing, and anything if you have to extract from there, you will have to, put in a lot of, compute power to extract information from a blob. Why? Because it is encrypted and there's a lot of algorithms which are applied, which is unnecessary for us. But what we have to understand is extracting data from here is a really big challenge. From a blob is a big challenge. You can't query it either. So if I say select PZ PV stream, this is what you will see. You'll just see binary data, binary data. If I try to double click on that or open it, I won't be able to see anything. Why? Because it is a blob. Right now I have 98 work objects. That is why I see 98 rows returned. Now to simplify this, Pega provides declare index. What does it tell? Using declare index, you can simplify your, it's a technique using which you are creating a column in a table from by extracting it from the blob. That's what we'll be trying to do here. So let me go to the rule form first. Records, or we can create one declare index and also understand before that, right? So every property which gets created, right, it is not by default exposed. In the sense, where's my data table? Sorry, records, pages and classes, and data model. Okay, so let us take one example and understand. For example, the commercial vehicle, the section commercial vehicle, we remember this section, right? We have designed this section, commercial vehicle section. What have we used here as a source? A page list, commercial vehicle list. Do we agree? Which is something which we created in our work class under data model category. Under data model category, you will see there is a vehicle page list. Or what is it? Yeah, commercial vehicle page list, which we created, which we are using to access there. Yes or no? Right? It is a page list, but this data is going and sitting inside a blob. We are not able to find those details there. Let us go and check. When we go and try to, for example, look for, let me do star here and run this guy. I'm not seeing any column talking about brand, win, or any of those properties. Are we able to see those? See, I'm seeing the work object, but I'm not able to see the properties which are present as part of that page list. Are we able to see those guys here in this entire table? Email is there, first name, last name. These are defined in the work class. These are available. However, the win, the other properties are not visible. There is also another table. Let us try to check that as well. Data dot pr score other. See, we have no data here either. So technically what we are trying to say here is, if you see this particular page list, as part of this page list we do have brand, make, year, model, prior prior insurance. All this information is available in the work object. If you open any work object, for example, if I open a work object, I can find that information. See, I can open a work object and I can see that that information will be available. However, when I try to go and see in the table, that is not available. How do we make those that data available in the database to be able to access it is something we will see today. Right, this is one work object. Here, pending customer info. Let us say I provide some information. It's in customer info stage. I can say go, and not here. I want to provide the vehicle details. Commercial vehicle. Next. See, let us say I am adding some details. Win, file, brand, mark, model, wins 2022. Okay, and I want to add another item. Let us say a Swift. So two records, typically a page list. Let me save this. So now I have saved this record. Okay, and I can also see that on clipboard this page list will be populated. If I go to my py work page, this is my py work page, and I expand this commercial vehicle list. There is a list available. Yes or no? These are the details I gave. Merc 2022 Benz. Yes or no? See, these are available in my clipboard page. But let me go and see for this work object, whatever is the work object ID. Can I find these details in database? This is my work object. Let me run this. Sorry. Okay. So if you see, I can find one record is there, but can I find those details with respect to my bands and all that, though it is present. Whenever I try to open the work object now, I see that the data is there. See, for example, let me close this guy, -2, right? This is the work object we worked on. When I open this work object, the data is there. See, you click commercial vehicle, and if you come down, it's not showing here, no problem. When you click go, when you go inside the work object, you are seeing that this data is there. This data is saved, right? Yes or no? But within a work object, it is being stored within this column. What is the column we are storing that in? PZPV stream. Yes or no? Because it is in a blob. It is part of that work object's blob. Making sense? Are we able to understand, guys? Very important. See, all the data is present, but it is present in the blob. CPU ID is this, and then the data is present as part of the blob. The blob is nothing but PZPV stream. PX application. See, PZPV stream. As part of PZPV stream, inside that PZPV stream, I do have all those columns. I don't see that anywhere else. See, these columns are appearing because I have explicitly created them. Those also we have created, but they are part of data class, and we have created a page list in the work class referring to that data class, and then we are accessing them, and those values are saved in this work object, but they are inside this PZPV stream. Pega has taken care of bundling them and keeping them inside this and getting that information. For example, here I can't query and get that data. For example, can I look for a commercial vehicle which is of Mercedes type here? Can I query that? That data is not visible here. Is it visible, guys, in the database? No. So now we need to index the table to be able to access that information. The purpose of declare index is to join, create a join that can be done using declare index, and to be able to fetch that data. To do that, we will have to do certain operations. We will be creating an index on top of a table. Let us see how exactly we can do that. Perfect. Did you get an understanding of how a data gets stored into a blob to start with? Yes? No? Perfect. Okay. So let us say I want to create a report definition to fetch all the records which are there for vehicle, whatever records which got stored as part of vehicle list. I want to be able to fetch those. Let us see how we can do that. Perfect. We are able to save this. Mm, okay. So we do have this commercial vehicle page list here, which we are trying to deal with. Mm, okay. Let us see how Pega helps us achieve that thing. Let me right click on, let us say, brand. Okay, brand is one of the properties there. When I right click on this property, do we see something called as optimize for reporting? Are we able to see this, guys? Let's try to click on this. This is where what Pega will be doing is it will be creating a separate column like we saw first name, last name, age, email. It will be creating a separate column for that particular property, which will help us extract the information faster. That's like adding a roll number to a student. That is how I'll be able to identify. I can go and look for it. When it is in PCPV stream, it is a group of stuff which is not indexed. Imagine that to be all the sheets together and you don't know where is your marks card until unless you have attached a pink or a green sticker to it, and it is coming out, and you have written on top of it telling that, okay, this is marks card, this is this thing. You index stuff like that, right? When you using sticky notes, can't we index stuff like that with our files and folders? Don't we do that, guys? Like some indicator to help us understand the same thing we are doing, but we are doing in software by creating or using stuff like this. That's what we are trying to, that is what indexing is all about. Does it make sense? All that it is going to help you is being able to access data faster because it is indexed. Perfect. So in this page list, none of these properties are optimized. Let us optimize this for reporting. Let us try that. Okay. Commercial vehicle pages. Okay. Click on optimize for reporting. I'm just doing it for one property. See, what does it offer you? It is telling, it's a wizard pretty much. All that we did here was, let me cancel this, come back. In the commercial vehicle list, page list which we have created, I wanted to optimize these properties for reporting, in the sense to be able to create a separate column so that I can index it and use it. That's what we are trying to do here. Okay. To do that, what I have done, I came to the page list, and then I want to generate a I want to optimize these properties for reporting. Let us see how we are trying to do it. Expand this page list which you have created and click on optimize for reporting. Are we able to understand how we can access optimize for reporting, guys? Yes? No? Let us see what does it give us. Okay, let us try to optimize this for reporting and see what options does it give us. So you will see first it is telling properties and classes. A new index class and an index property will be created for the property commercial vehicle list dot win. Rule declare hyphen index will be created or updated in the class work. Index tables will be populated with these values is what it is saying. So it is telling when we are trying to modify this table is where it is going to optimize it for this particular property. We can also, next thing what we'll be doing is, first thing is of course this will be selected by default. If it is any other property, it will be selected in the same way. So right now we have the work class where exactly we are trying to do it, and the corresponding table, which is the table which we saw already. After this, you will have to choose the rule set name and version. Let us pick the rule set name and version. Let me say alpha auto, and the open rule set version is 010102. Make sense, guys? Are we able to understand? So when do you want to do it? If you want to do it right now, you can do it right now. One of the very important questions in interviews will be, how will you expose a property? This is the process of exposing a property. This is the process of optimizing a property. How will you optimize a property? Right click on the property which is in the blob, and then right now these properties are inside a blob. Do we agree to that, guys? In the database, were we able to see this? No. However, when you open the work object, you are able to see the data. That's how we know that this is still in a blob. It's not been exposed. And we are trying to do that. This is the process of exposing a property or optimizing a property for reporting. Why do we need to optimize this? For reporting. Why do they need a specific student ID for every student, so that they can report, they can understand who is this user, uh, does this user belong to which college does he belong to, where which branch does he belong to. They can identify using that. They can use that for reporting. Same thing is what Pega is telling. Pega is telling you can optimize this property for reporting by right clicking and clicking optimize for reporting. This is how you will be exposing a property. Right now this property is concealed inside a blob. Now we are trying to expose this Pega is automatically doing it. You don't have to write anything. You just have to right click and go through a wizard which is called optimize for reporting. Now I have chosen the table where it is going to go inside, and then a rule set and a name. Let me click next. See, it's telling which are the classes which are eligible for this. It has already chosen. That's fine. Let me say eligible classes are fine. Click next. Now the optimization process starts here. 3 steps are there. But this is in general how you will be optimizing any property for reporting. Does it make sense? Does it make sense, guys? Okay. Perfect. Now that we are done, we can click on finish. See, it has optimized. The following rules it created. So far we didn't have index hyphen rules. 3 index hyphen rules. One which is called as a class index hyphen alpha auto hyphen data hyphen vehicle. A new index class was created. A new property index hyphen alpha auto hyphen data hyphen vehicle win got created for win. Similarly, a rule declare index which will help us to access this particular property easily from the table got created. So far we didn't have an index for this thing. Right now we created an index. Do we agree, guys? Makes sense? Perfect. Finish. So this is one property which we optimized. Similarly, we can optimize other properties also. Brand, model, make year, we can optimize that. When we did same way, right click on the property, optimize for reporting, select the rule set, version, next, next, same thing. A new property got created, index property, along with the index, the existing index which is it is utilizing, common vehicle list index it's utilizing. Finish. Do it for make year and model as well. Okay. Okay, there's a previous job which is still running and then it is telling run it later. No problem. That's fine. Let's see if there is any change on this table. We don't have to, but let us see. Last type, vehicle type. Okay, I don't think it is creating it here. I think it is creating a separate index for it. A index table should help us understand that. Let us check that as well. Let me refresh this guy. Well, we will see that. We'll be able to access that through a report definition and we can understand that much in detail. No problem. Let's go and proceed with our optimization. So we did brand. The make here also did we do? Not yet, I guess. Let us see. Optimize for reporting. Next classes. Perfect. Finish. Same thing you can do for model as well. Okay. It will be over. So it does it in the backend. It generates it and it is doing it in the backend. While this is happening, let's try to create a report definition under work class and see how exactly this declare index which got created is going to help us. To do that, I'll go to the reporting category in my work class, right click on this category. Sorry, not a category. I need to create a report definition. Mm, Create a report definition and we'll see how exactly we can utilize this index. Let us say I want to get a list of commercial vehicles. Get vehicle list. Perfect. Create and open. While that property is loading, I'm just trying to do it here. Optimizer. Let us see if it is going through now. Yeah, perfect. So I just optimized 4 of the properties there. Let's say finish. Perfect. Done. Let me go back to my report definition. And here, if you try to come down, what is this? Yes, query. Okay, I think we have to go to the data access tab. Yes. Once you come here, for example, when you have a declarative index join, it is like knowing where exactly a particular thing is kept. In the sense, like having an index is like going in a textbook and knowing on which page this particular topic is. And to do that within a report definition, you can specify that. Where can I specify that? I can go to the data access. I can specify a declarative index join. What is this? I am telling that to this report definition, hey, I do have a declare index which will help you fetch the records faster, or else it has to go through the entire blob and figure out where exactly a given record is there. Why? Because blob is a very complex data structure. To open it and extract data is a very expensive operation for Pega. You can imagine, we use this to uh, it's like a bucket which is leaking and someone is asking you to fill the water using that from a well. You'll never be able to do it faster because it is always leaking. Same thing is true when you try to deal with blobs. When you're trying to open a blob and perform an operation, it puts a lot of performance issues when you're trying to access it. So to fix such challenges, these type of rules are available. One is your indexing. How can we achieve indexing? We can create a declare index on those properties which we want to access. We can perform optimize for reporting, which is nothing but exposing that as a explicit column, and we will be able to use that. So you can click on, when you create a report definition, you can come to add a declarative index join, and then you can add one. Just click on this and you should be able to see your index which got created. Pega automatically created this index, yes or no? This declare index. When we optimized this the properties for reporting, Pega automatically created this for us. You'll be able to understand because you have not seen large scale data sets where people are trying to query it and get the data back. If you see, even in our day-to-day lives, when we have too much data in our phones itself, browsing it becomes really slow. You always tell that, oh, I have to clear from some data. Don't we say that? Or my phone is hanging. Why? Because there is too much data, it is not indexed and there is no sufficient space to handle that. Yes or no? Also, when you try to search, sometimes the search takes long time because the data is not indexed. It is not against a certain index. That is why it is looking into the entire pool of data and it doesn't know where that exact object which you are looking for is lying, and it is always spinning because it is not indexed. There is no a specific index against that particular record which it can use and pull and fetch. But it doesn't happen when you're trying to look for for a phone number. When you look for a phone number, you're always typing Vishwas, and then it comes up right then and there. Why? Because you have indexed it based on the name there, Vishwas. But if you want to scroll and check, it is like looking for data without indexing. Yes or no? Are you able to understand, guys? It's a database topic, slightly tricky, but very interesting to know and understand. That's what it is. In pages and classes, you can copy this guy and make sure you specify what class it belongs to. Control V, and then I can say the data class it belongs to, which is vehicle. Perfect. So once that is done, go back to your query tab. Here you will be able to access those. In the columns, you can say vehicle list dot brand. Sorry. Win, and you can say what is the brand, and you can say what is the model. Make here also something you can specify, and you can also put your PYID. Did we optimize the work object ID, guys? No, we can just use why, because it is already optimized. It's already available as a column in my table. It's not just in the blob, but also is available as a separate entity or a column inside my table. So I don't have to optimize it or do anything with respect to, because it's already available as exposed column. I can go and look for it in my table. Let us save this. Sorry. Save. All we did was perfect. So we were able to create a report definition. First of all, we created declare index by optimizing the properties. For example, a page list property, we optimized it for reporting. And now what we did, we are now able to access that as an individual property here. See, though it was present as part of a work object data, we are able to access it based on this index which we created. How did we create this? All we had to do is just use the optimize for reporting wizard to optimize it, and then Pega automatically created me a declare index. Yes or no, guys? See, okay, copy that, paste it here, and you should be able to see that. See, declare index, which Pega automatically created through the wizard 8 minutes ago. You can open that and see. You will be asked, what is a declare index? Declare index is nothing but a concept where for properties which are not exposed or explicitly present as columns within the tables, we might need them for reporting. All we can do is Pega has provided us this wizard, which is called as optimize for reporting against those properties. For example, if it is a part of a page list, you can expand that page list, right click on those properties and optimize it. Now see, you have all these properties which got created for reporting, and we are accessing the same here, and I can run this. See, run. If there are any records present, it should be able to fetch those records and show me, do I have win and all those details from all the records for which we have specified. Yes or no? Did we specify these two records today? Yes or no? Mark, pens. All these are the records which are present in our system, which it has extracted and given. Does it make sense, guys? Yes? No? De declare index. This is what declare index is all about. Creating an index to access properties which are not exposed, creating an index for those, and exposing or optimizing them for reporting. The question will be, how do you expose a property which is in a page list or it is in a blob? Or they will say, we want to extract that information, but that property is not available in the database. What will you do? We will utilize optimize for reporting option which Pega gives, which helps us creating a declare index, which we did today. Yes or no? We ran it on all these properties, win, brand, model, and maker. Now we are able to generate an explicit report which talks about all those properties which were as part of blob. Now they are exposed and are available to extract the data. Does it make sense, guys? Very good. So this is what I had for today with respect to declare index. If you guys have any questions, I can answer them. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So in latest versions, what Pega has done, you won't have access to database. So there is a tool here. I'm not sure if in personal edition they have provided, but hold on. Let me check. Database. Okay. In your environment under this category, there will be option to check what exactly here. Yeah, here it is not there, but you will get a query tool, or there are three few other tools which Pega is providing, which you can use and you can access and verify that. So it is not a big deal. You will easily know if that property is optimized or not. One thing is that. Another thing is you can always ask your database administrator to give you access to the table. There in every team you will be deployed, there will be a specific team who will be working on database changes. They will be writing stored procedures. They will be writing much intense database related stuff. So they will be the right point of contact for you to understand a data model. Any project you go in, you first will be asking for a data model. What is a data model which we are using here? So they should have, it's a mandate that they should have a data model which talks about what all properties are being utilized, how exactly you are sharing these properties with external systems. A document which talks about that. First we have to achieve that, and then we have to understand how exactly it maps with our Pega application. Does it make sense? Perfect. But there are multiple ways using which you can identify. Perfect. Any more questions? Thanks.